Good morning, Internet. Today we're going to be responding to iDubbbz video that he uploaded 24 hours ago called Coming Clean, in which he responds to the haters online. No, I'm not joking. My coffee is black. Starting the day off this way is a must because I got to go to work in 1 hour. We'll see how much I can get through this. Grab a coffee, some root beer, because you're going to need it. It's time. The headphones go on. Here we go, Coming Clean, 207,000 views.
It's just like implanted in your brain from all the other hate videos. There was never a bonus. I never spoke to these losers about a bonus. If you're gonna be a hater-ass bitch, take it the full way. By the way, the background is a work in progress, so you can just tune that out.
Nobody cares.
Today, I'm going to be doing the thing that everyone tells you not to do.
Which is why they tell you not to do it, right? Which is responding to I haven't even watched this yet, but I am already telling you, I've seen clips of this online.
And that is feed the trolls. One of the more important things that I want to talk about is my relationship with Anissa. I love Anissa. I love everything about her. I've only grown to love her more with time. And a lot of people online don't see it that way.
That's cool. You're allowed to grow and love people as much as you want. But the problem is that your wife has issues. Those issues are being manifested through you on the internet. And as this video will later prove, because after this video that I'm responding to, he went on Twitch and he did a live stream responding to other critics that he didn't even respond to in this particular video. But some interesting stuff happens with Anissa, who happens to be in his live stream chatting on the sidebar as a viewer, and it's very, very, I don't care if you love your wife. I don't care how much you feel close to your wife. Your wife is a bad person.
For me, it's very obvious. I thought more people would be able to catch on. I am quiet, stoic, not talkative.
I am quiet, stoic, stoicism, a person who can endure pain or hardship without their feelings without showing their feelings or complaining. Okay. A person who can endure pain and hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. Well, I don't know why you're describing yourself as stoic here when I have a feeling this video that we're going to be watching is the exact opposite of all of that, but what do I know?
She is the opposite of that. She is loud, very talkative, social. People struggle to understand that dynamic, I think, especially me being a person who has made a career of talking online. So yes, Anissa will oftentimes, like in many relationships, be the more talkative one. We've been together for nearly 10 years, and all of it has been online for the public to see, and there are still people accusing her of cheating, accusing me of being in an abusive relationship. None of this is true.
Hey, you know what's funny? I made a video years ago, almost identical to this, in which people were claiming that a particular thing was happening to me, and I was in denial that it was happening to me. I was in denial. In fact, the video's not on my channel anymore for legal reasons and other such reasons, but I made a video, and it was super embarrassing, where basically I did something almost identical to this, what you're doing right here. I am not being hurt or abused or this or that, and I was. But when you're in the relationship, you're not able to see outside of what you're in, okay? So if you are being abused, Ian, which I believe you are, and nothing you say or do could convince me otherwise of that, until you get out of that, until you have a mental break, which I don't know which will ever happen or not, you're going to be stuck with this narrow view of life with specifically her, because you can't see outside of your life with her. And that's actually unhealthy.
And there is no evidence for any of this except, like, I guess, body language experts coming on and being like, iDubbbz is being stoic here, therefore he's in hell.
Okay, hang on. Watch the change there. Watch the change.
I don't know what the that was. I have never gotten.
Look at Ian in this moment. Oh my God.
Like, he looks sad. No, he is disgusted at her. He's depressed. He's so disgusted
Working
by this.
on.
He looks disgusted with this.
He looks so uncomfortable. He's like, should I be here? He looks so uncomfortable. Look at this guy's body language. He doesn't want to be there.
Look how miserable he looks. Dude, he looks miserable. Dude, he looks like he wants to kill himself.
I mean, I kind of want to kill myself now. Okay, so they're not a fan of the resting bitch face. All right, well, I'm not going to smile all the time, fellas. And even when I smile, you guys still like contort it into he's so uncomfortable or he's smiling through the pain.
Burn.
Oh, he's so uncomfortable. And
No.
he's smiling on his face.
What?
But inside his eyes, you can see his pain.
That's-
First of all, I'm gonna just say this since I don't know why you're taking the Andy Worski casino. Was it Kino Casino? It's a lot. They do like a live stream show or something on Kick. I've actually only just watched some of it the other day for my first time. They exaggerate things like intentionally. Like that's kind of what they do. They'll take something and like I can't believe, number one, I cannot believe that you're responding to them. From what I've seen, this is the majority of the video. You're responding to their clips and stuff. You've done goof with this one. Like, of all the people to respond to, they should be the last people like you should take seriously, like genuinely. And I watch, they're pretty entertaining at times, but they exaggerate a lot of things and they hype the chat up. Like, it's not why. The fact that you use them as the major crux of your response in this is so telling at how out of touch of reality that you are.
For some reason, well, not for some reason, for the reason of sexism and people's view on OnlyFans and them just not liking Anissa,
Well, I'm going to tell you my views on OnlyFans. I don't got anything wrong with it. I've been doing it since 2018. Got no problems there. I know people are going to rat on people who have it and stuff, but I don't care. That's never been an issue for me. I don't care that Anissa does OF. I just think that it's funny that, and I brought this up in a later video, that you and Anissa have like this very, very strict stance on anything that has any attachment to, well, you said in a live stream about Radiohead is goated in regards to Zionism. That's what you said. And that's why you don't listen to Radiohead anymore, because they're Zionists, right? That's your own words. And I brought up the term like, well, maybe you or Anissa should not be using OnlyFans because the CEO of OnlyFans donated $11 million pro-Israel, okay? Like, I'm not here to have a Palestine-Israel debate, but I'm bringing up the point, and this is the only thing I'm highlighting, is that your wife, Anissa, who uses OnlyFans, is directly taking money from OnlyFans, who the CEO supports Israel. So I think it's really hypocritical and really inconsistent with your ability to rationalize and say, I'm not going to listen to a band because it has Zionistic themes. Whatever the hell that means, I don't know. But then you're also taking money from OnlyFans, who donated $11 million. Like, this is, what? This is not, has nothing to do with sexism. It happens, I'm just pointing to something that's very logical, at least to this dumb brain, on why you should at least be consistent in your morals or ethics or principles, right?
they want to push forward a narrative that she is actively and continually cheating on me. And if you listen to freaks like this guy I'm about to show, it makes sense why. They are obsessed.
Anissa wants to have sex into having sex with Anissa. I think he wants to bang Anissa. Anissa was horny and wanted to have sex with this therapist. Well, Anissa herself to it.
Yep. Do you think that makes her pussy wet?
Buddy, was she getting
stop?
plowed?
That's what I'm saying.
What we're describing here is two grown men who are fantasizing about a stranger and his wife and what they do in the bedroom.
I mean, you're not wrong. That I don't know about the fantasize, but they are talking about it a lot. This is about. I do think it's kind of weird. Like, you're always like, for people to focus on like their sexual relationship. I agree, that is weird. But at the end of the day, this is part of the internet, and if you're in a public relationship, and if Anissa didn't have clips and stuff of her flirting with other men on the internet that she does, then I don't think this, well, maybe it would, I don't know. It wouldn't be as hyped up, and this rumor, this gossip, this whatever you want to call it. I personally wouldn't be responding to somebody making speculations about my sex life. That's just not something that I would do per se, because I think that you're just giving into to be talked about more by responding to it. Basic psychology 101, man.
Or don't do in the bedroom. That is creepy, weirdo shit.
And here we have iDubbbz with the bull, folks. There's iDubbbz with the bull.
He's using sexualized terms to describe a picture of me and my dog. and what are we doing? So many people will tell Anissa and I of just like, don't feed into the hate. And it's like, okay, we're going to post some normal stuff. Anissa posts just me with a picture of my dog, and this is the type of commentary we get about it.
So you know what you do? You ignore it. You ignore it. I made a joke once, right? About, this was years ago, but I'm just gonna say this because I don't really care. I made a joke about when I'm lonely, I often put peanut butter on my nuts to get them licked. Right? This was years ago. I made a sex joke, right, about my dog, my dog that's on the bed right over there. People took that and they ran with it, and they made fun of me for it. People took what I said seriously and like, oh, I always knew he was a creep, and I bet he really does that. You ignore it, or you go running with the joke.
iDubbbz with the bull. Gorgeous Gabe Plowder in the back room of the salon. 3-hour bukkake session with all of the male stylists.
If you're curious about the hairdresser these guys are talking about, I will point you to my disgraced boxing coach, Michael Briggs. For some reason, this stupid loser and his dumb as rocks wife decided to go on the H3 podcast. They already spilled their guts. They were getting paid like $5,000 to go on this podcast.
I'm going to be sending you guys $5,000 for the bonus that you never got.
I think they were maybe afraid that they wouldn't get the money if they didn't thoroughly trash us. So them maybe thinking that they weren't trashing us hard enough, Michael Briggs decided to invoke the name of one of his presumably friends and say that Anissa was like thirsting after him.
She definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with them, because anytime they would spar, she would just be super into it and watch every moment. Even if he would like beat Ian up, she'd be very into it.
For whatever it's worth, every time Michael Briggs, my disgraced boxing coach, would reference Gabe, he would always refer to him as Gorgeous Gabe. He couldn't help but refer to him as Gorgeous Gabe on the podcast.
I would call him Gorgeous Gabe.
He's a beautiful guy.
Yeah, he's got tattoos. He's large. He's tan.
I don't call him that. My wife doesn't call him that. If you have some unresolved sexual tension or fantasies, whatever the fuck it is, you need to keep that shit to yourself and not project it onto other people. I wish the best to Gabe. Michael Briggs, on the other hand, absolute fucking creep weirdo. Now, I know a lot of this is very grotesque and obsessive. I would prefer if people didn't talk about me and my wife or other people in this way.
Well, guess what? Unfortunately, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have your relationship public online, this is going to happen. Okay? Let me think before I say this. No, I've had 2 very, 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 very public relationships on the internet for the world to see. And I've learned from one of them being horrendous and me going through a massive legal battle that it's not worth it. And that you should keep things private. And like, people know that you're with so-and-so, that's whatever, but maybe just don't post about your relationship online, and you will receive a lot less. You're still gonna get it, right? But you'll receive a lot less videos and hatred overall if you don't broadcast the fact that you're always talking about your relationship and you're always having to post your partner on the... Look, maybe this is not popular, but I am of the belief at this point, having had 2 very public relationships, that if you have to post your relationship online all of the time, unless it's like a monetary specific thing, but like if you just have to always show that you're like married, or you always have to show your partner on the internet all the time, I consider that to be somebody who's not very happy. I'm not talking about like a post every once in a great while. I'm talking about like you always have to broadcast your online relationship. I think that people who have to use social media to tell people how happy they are and how much of a good relationship they are aren't really as happy as they seem to be. That's what I think. I think this about almost universally about all relationships and marriages. I just don't think that people should really broadcast their relationship and tell people how happy they are. When the reality is, most of the time it comes out to be that that's actually not the case. And it's a societal thing to make people look from an external factor and look at them and be like, oh man, they're a happy couple. It's just, I've learned from my own 2 past experiences, posting about my relationships. I will never be ever public about a relationship ever again in terms of like posting me and my significant other on my YouTube channel. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to make a video defending my partner ever on my YouTube channel. I did that. It was, I was wrong, right? Like I've been there. I've had a lot of experience with bad relationships, bad people, and trying to defend people I've dated online when I shouldn't have.
I briefly want to talk about the concept of being a lol cow, because these fucking losers, they love the concept of like labeling someone a lol cow and then like bullying them and watching their life spiral out of control. They won't, you know, say as much. They'll just be like, yeah, we just do it for laughs. The whole thing's entertainment. It's just just innocent guys just having a laugh. Thankfully, Anissa and I are in a much safer and privileged position than many other people who are the targets of guys like this who want to bully them into submission. So now I want to look at 2 different clips from these guys. There is the fat one and his cohort who are listening to Anissa describe, like, essentially having a hard time online, seeing people mock and make fun of her dad with Alzheimer's.
They were laughing at my dad for getting sick on some of these forums.
What did you think? What did you think? Because you shared it online?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what people are going to do because they want to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
I don't think they probably even really believe the stuff that they're saying, but they know because it's extreme and like edgy that it will cause you mentally spiral like this. So that's why they do it. And you're telling them that it affects you. So guess what? They're going to keep doing it.
All right. I'm going to call this guy Captain Chunk. I don't actually know his real name. This man is absolutely right. He is 100% right. Is it shitty to make fun of somebody having Parkinson's? Absolutely. But you know what? This is the internet. And sad to say, and I'm going to use myself as an example for this because I think I am a great example for this. I talked about my dad beating stage 3 pancreatic cancer, and I made a video really upset that my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and I was going through that situation and how I was coping with it, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what, man? People who don't like me made fun of me and that my dad was struggling with stage 3 pancreatic cancer. Now, what did I do when people made fun of me for having my dad going through pancreatic cancer and having to see my dad go through dialysis and all that, the chemo and shit? What did I do? Well, if somebody wrote a comment making fun of me or something, I just simply blocked them and I moved on. I did not make a dedicated video responding to people making fun of my dad having cancer. Do I think it was shitty? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have to have thick skin to be on the internet. You just do. It doesn't make what people do right. But if people don't like you, and then you post something personal or something that you're struggling with, you have to be prepared mentally, psychologically, that you're going to be made fun of that. It doesn't matter how wholesome you are. It doesn't matter how great of person you are in real life or online. People are going to make fun of you. It's just how it's going to be. Something that really upset me back in the day was when one of my dogs passed away. I had this one particular stalker of mine who would, for whatever reason, was like chronically ill. Every tweet that I would post, they would like screenshot it and reply to it. Every time that I blocked them, they'd make another account, block them, another account. There were a couple times I did reply to it, because I wanted just to put them on blast. But they replied when my dog passed away. Now, I was really emotionally upset, and I was talking about my dog passing away because that was my childhood dog, right? You have a dog with yourself for 14 years, half my life as a teenager. My dog passed away. This horrible person decided to screenshot that and say that I murdered my dog because I gave my dog CBD chews, which was doctor recommended because of the pain that my dog was going through. So I gave them these chews, CBD chews for dogs. And they said because I used that, I actually caused my dog to die faster. I was really upset by that. But did you see me make a dedicated video to this person? No. Because had I done that, had I made a YouTube video saying, calling this person out, people would see that that is something that bothers me, and that's something that hurts me, and they're more inclined to go after me and parrot up this other person making fun of the fact that my dog died, right? Super fucked up. But it's part of the internet, and you have to accept and acknowledge and recognize that this is part of the culture that is the internet. This is why the internet exists. This is why we have freedom of speech, at least in America, on the internet. If you don't like something, don't look it up. Press the block button, press the mute button. You have options available. If you choose not to use that and scroll terminally ill online, watching everything, that's on you. Another example of this would be back when I... A lot of people don't know this. I sold, back in 2017, I sold a pair of my underwear for $350. I got heavily made fun of for selling a pair of my underwear. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, why would you sell your underwear to somebody on the internet for $350? Well, $350 is $350. And at the time, in 2017, I was just starting my degree in welding technology. I'm certified in a TIG, MIG, and dual shield, right? I'm certified by the state in welding technology. I have a degree in welding. The textbooks, the blueprint textbooks I needed, and this welding book that I needed, the total costs of these textbooks. If you're in college, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Textbooks are overly priced and expensive in America. The two books combined was like $450. I sold a pair of my underwear for $350 to some weirdo on the internet who paid me $350. I was able to then buy my school textbooks that I needed because I didn't have the money. Now, to this very day, modern 2025, almost, 8 years ago, people still bring this up. That's the guy that sold his dirty underwear. That's that creep who sold his underwear. That's that weird... I go with it because I absolutely did do that, and I have absolutely no shame in it. Now, if I came to the internet and made a dedicated video on my channel clipping people, because it's been talked about in podcasts and videos of people making fun of me and ridiculing me for selling my underwear, what do you think people would do? It would just hype it up more, and people would make it more. They would say, wow, this really bothers Repsion. This really bothers Daniel. So we're going to attack him more for selling his underwear. I don't care. People, I made $350. You didn't make $350. That's how I view it, so it doesn't bother me. But I run with it because that's exactly what I did. And I have no shame about it. And I don't make videos like attacking or criticizing people for making fun of me for it. Because why would I? I actually did it. You own that shit, man. Own it.
This is how the internet works. It shouldn't be, but that's how it is.
The whole time, he is not saying that he is a perpetrator of bullying her. What he's saying is that other people are doing that. But he is doing it actively. In this video, he is bullying Anissa. And in other videos, he's literally bullied and made fun of her dad who has Alzheimer's.
Bro, get over it. I'm sorry, man. I feel like an asshole that I'm the person having to get over it, okay? That's the whole thing of their show, is they make fun of everything, everyone, and they exaggerate positions and say things absolutely outrageous, okay? As I said in the start of this video, you're responding to this is literally going to uptick their live stream or show even more than it already is. They already average like 10,000 viewers. You think now you've made this video dedicating to them, saying, how dare you, you're bullying my wife and making fun of her father having Parkinson's. Now it's just going to increase even more. You think it was bad now? You're just reinforcing this even more on their community, and it's going to happen 10 times as worse. The fact that you can't recognize this, the fact that I'm having to explain this to you on basic operations of Internet Optics 101, there's nothing that you or I can do to control this. Don't bully my wife or make fun of her in any way, or if she posts something personal online, how dare you make fun of it? Like, oh my gosh, dude. You're literally making this worse for yourself, but maybe that's the goal. Maybe the goal is to make it worse for you, so then you can try to use that as more victim points to make yourself out like, oh, poor me, my wife is being bullied online. People are being mean to her.
With a late-stage dementia patient who is an extremist Muslim, and he sees his daughter covered in tattoos, married to iDubbbz the cuck, and he just freaks the out. iDubbbz is having to take him on walks through the neighborhood, talk to this demented guy.
So this is something...
Okay, dude, the fact that they're exaggerating this shit, and you're just You're feeding into it.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Special thanks to the sponsor today, Vance Global. They've been sponsoring this channel for over 3.5 years, and you guys love them. Vance Global specializes in phenomenal CBD products and non-CBD products. They have the munchies, they have the puffies, and each product they have will affect you in different ways, in very positive ways. For me, their CBDs really help me with sleep. And if you go to Vance Global right now and use code REPSION at checkout, you'll get 20% off every single order that you do, no matter how big or small, and you'll get free shipping. They ship to all 50 states. Vance Global has been detrimental with me and sleep. I use their CBDs all of the time when I go to sleep. It's just something that really relaxes me because with my job, I can't get certain things in my body or else I'll be fired. So I just use their CBD stuff a lot. If you have chronic pain or arthritis, these things do work. I've been sponsored by them for over 3.5 years on this channel. And recently, to be completely transparent, I have a new commissions deal. So if you use code REPSION at checkout, you're not going to be just directly helping me, but I'll be helping you too. Because I have like an 80% commissions rate. So like if you spend $100, I'm making $80 of that value. So if you want to support me in any capacity and then also have that benefit you, please go to my sponsor, click the link, use my discount code. I would appreciate it. This is so bad. We're only 8 minutes into this.
That he's very familiar with. But for some reason, in this moment, he refuses to take any ownership of the fact that he is part of the problem.
Like, that's what people are going to do because they want to get a reaction out of you. So that's why they do it. And you're telling them that it affects you.
He doesn't want to admit it, and it makes you wonder why. And we get a little window into that at the end of the clip.
This is how the internet works. It shouldn't be, but that's how it is.
He says in this moment, it shouldn't be. Why the fuck do you think he says it shouldn't be? Could that be because it's wrong and it's a mean, evil thing to do? To acknowledge that someone is suffering and deciding that you are going to attack them online continuously for the thing that they are, either insecure or struggling with? It's plain as day that he's part of the problem, but he fucking refuses, like a coward does, to take any responsibility for him being part of the problem. I don't think a lot of these comments...
Well, I'm going to say this. I will admit, I am part of the problem. However, I don't go out of my... I don't think I've ever made fun of somebody having Parkinson's or cancer. Mainly because... I don't think I have. Maybe I have. I don't know. I don't know. After I experienced my dad going through cancer, it changed me a lot in terms of how I view the subject of cancer. I mean, I still make cancer jokes all the time. My dad and me both, even when my dad was going through cancer, my dad was making really dark humor jokes about him dying and stuff and losing all of his hair and all that stuff. I think humor is really important when you're going through really dark times. Here's the reality. I've absolutely attacked and criticized people when they've been suffering on the line. I've absolutely done that in my past. Off the top of my head, I can't think of when, but I know that I've done it, right? But the problem is a lot of the people that I've responded to over the 14 years on this platform, a lot of them are usually really bad people. And usually they'll do something really, really bad. And then after they do something really, really bad, then they're like, oh, also my dog just died, or so-and-so just happened, or I lost my house, or there's always like, they do something really bad. And then, oh, this happened, feel sorry for me right after the bad event. That's typically what I've seen. Have I been mean to people? Absolutely. I'm a bit of an asshole online sometimes.
Commentary channels want to be held to a higher standard. I think they want to comment on the strategy of things, and they don't want to reveal too much of their own morals or principles. This next guy is the perfect example of what I'm describing. He is being very critical of me talking to a therapist. And by the way, that wasn't even a therapy session. I just happened to cry in that moment, and I was like, this might be able to communicate authenticity, so I'll include it.
And then Ian goes on a podcast with a therapist and gets extremely real with him, which is a profoundly stupid idea. Like eating with your mouth full on camera. He of all people should know better than to go on a therapist's podcast and vent about his very real problems on a public forum like that, because people will use that information against him. like this.
The same person live streamed his own therapy session where he actually cried.
If you're going to be a hater-ass bitch, take it the full way. Take responsibility for having the opinion that crying online is pathetic and weak.
Okay, look, I don't think... This is coming from the Star Wars guy, okay? You want to know something? Look at this video right here. There we go. Look at this. 10 years ago, 236,000 views. Oh my god. Look at how young I look. Oh my god, look at this little guy. Look at this little punk-ass bitch. Look at his eyes. Oh my god, he's crying. He's crying to Star Wars. So what a lot of people don't know is when I made this video reacting to Star Wars Episode 7, I was actually crying from pain that I didn't know that I was exhibiting yet because the movie was so bad. However, at the moment, I was so excited that we got it at Star Wars Episode 7 that I sobbed. Now, this video got 10 years ago, 236,000 views, right? The reason that I bring this up is because I do not think that crying on camera is pathetic. There have been very few times in my life where I've ever criticized somebody for crying online. I think expressing your emotions, I think feeling emotions is good. But how you express those emotions and the context behind them does make a difference. More often than not, typically when we have people who are crying on a YouTube video who have done actually bad things and they're being called out for doing bad things, the crying is usually exhibited to some sort of like marketing of, oh, I'm a victim in this. I'm so sorry I did this.
Don't say I am the enlightened centrist and other people are going to make fun of you for that.
Because people will use that information against him.
People will use the information against me. Who's people? I'm pretty sure you're people. You're the one who's playing this fucking clip. You're the one who's making this video called the most toxic wife. I don't know why these fucking don't accept the full troll mask. They're acting as if being sincere is impossible to do online. It's not impossible. It's difficult in the situation that Anissa and I are in, but we're making that choice intentionally. So you making this bold claim that we are like unaware what happens when Anissa talks about her dad who has Alzheimer's or me.
Wait, hold up. What does that say? It said, someone will bully you if you share your feelings. Actually, isn't necessarily always true. If you guys maybe didn't do bad things and like defraud people out of money and lose $500,000 and like not use charity money to put it where you said that it was going to go, I don't think that there would be as much criticism towards you if you hadn't had a disaster creator clash 2 and 3.
About her dad who has Alzheimer's or me crying, like we're very aware that that is going to be viewed as gay and be made fun of by people like you.
So then if you're aware of this, that people are going to do what you're aware of, why are you responding to it?
Now I'm going to react to a couple of these random creators who have made videos or statements about Anissa and I, just to give you a taste of what an average is. And additionally, like in making some of those videos, it just attracts a certain type of person where they're like, I'm going to list off a bunch of people I consider lol cows or people who are mentally like disabled. And I'm going to tell you to make fucking documentaries about them. And then in that case, like, I'm not fucking doing that. You seeing that happen right now with World of T-shirts. There's a lot of people who think they're like doing it responsibly or respectfully. And it's just hell. It's just like, what the fuck is any of this shit?
Bro, what is going on? Anissa legitimately convinced him his entire being as a person is bad.
Did I once say my entire being is bad? You're allowed to be critical of yourself and the content you're making. You would benefit from being a little critical of the content you're making.
I agree with
that. What the fuck is this? Like, actually comment on what I was talking about. Do you agree or disagree with a statement that you should be making videos and documentaries about people who are mentally disabled because you are encouraged by your fan base to do so? Do you agree with that? Maybe engage with the prompt
And fellas, and even fellettes, all right? Never, just listen up, all right? Never let your partner actually change you this much. Never let them convince you that you are so bad as a person, like everything you do, the way you act, everything you believe is bad, and you must agree to their way of life, everything they do. Obviously,
why do you think that she thinks everything I do is bad? I'm like, man, these people have fucking drank the Kool-Aid to a disgusting degree.
I mean, you did listen to Radiohead, and then when Anissa found out that there's had Zionistic tendencies, you stopped listening to that. So to an extent, if what you're telling people on live stream is true, he is a little bit valid. Like, you can listen to whoever the hell you want. You should not just not listen to a band because Anissa doesn't like it, or Anissa found out something about the band or the artist that you don't, that they don't approve of, and then you stop. Like, that's just so silly. I'm going to listen to my favorite music, regardless of whether my future wife or partner or girlfriend, boyfriend doesn't want me to listen to it. I don't care. I'm listening to my music, and you're not going to tell me otherwise.
Obviously, if there's legitimate criticism taken into account or whatever, but this is legitimately tragic. He cannot be proud of a single thing he's ever done in his entire life. He just feels guilty about all of it because of Anissa.
Dude, I'm proud of plenty of things. I'm not just going to go on stream and declare it. Like, what do you, like,
Okay.
It's so boring. Like, I don't want to talk about how proud I am of making the Airsoft Fatty documentary. Like, do you guys really need me to fucking bloviate about how I really enjoyed following the narrative structure of a fatty battling with his friends in Battle Creek?
It was my opinion that some of your content in the past was actually good before. It was actually logical. You made some good points. You don't need to feel so bad about every single thing. You know, maybe you did some bad shit. You said some slurs. That shit was bad. Whatever.
Dude, I know. I just, this is so frustrating. I just want to say, like, a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about are going to be upsetting, or they're going to be a downer to you, because that's interesting. I don't know if it's because I have a higher threshold. It kind of feels like I do, right? A lot of the things that these commentators are commenting on is they're saying, like, oh my gosh, that would crush me, basically, if my wife described me in that way or said that about me. And it's like, okay, it would hurt you. You're feeling bad through me. You think that I'm feeling those same feelings that you're feeling. I'm not.
Well, right there, that's denialism, okay? I'm sorry, but if you are okay with your wife airing out your health problems and having chronic IBS diarrhea problems and that you smell all the time, I'm sorry. If that's the type of behavior that you think you're not bothered by your wife saying that about you on a live stream, then I can't believe I'm about to say this, but you're fucking cucked. You're cucked, dude, because that is so disrespectful. But, you know, if a man talked about maybe his wife has a stinky vagina, oh, the internet would break. The internet would snap. How dare a man talks about his wife's vagina and how it's stinky. But, you know, because you're a guy, she can talk about you in such a demoralizing, devaluing way on your hygiene. Do you not see my point? It should bother you. But you know what? You're your own person. You're your own feelings. And if you want to live in denialism, that's really disrespectful for any partner, regardless of gender, to talk about, then that's on you. And people are going to highlight that over and over and over and over and over again. And that's why when people say we feel bad or I would be embarrassed or humiliated, it's because it's not a normal thing people do. Okay? That's not a normal thing people's husbands or wives do, is broadcast people's hygiene and say things that about their health that's nobody's business. Like, what? Come on.
Good shit to your content as well. You're legitimately, you know, fighting against, like, evil people and shit like that.
Because I'm sensing this guy as being his own version of sincere, because I honestly think, I don't know how old this guy is, but I'm going to say a teenage commentary YouTuber. I'm going to say that their version of sincere is going to look very different than mine. I'll take what I can get right now from this guy. When I'm giving my actual authentic take about something, you don't need to put the blame on my wife. You don't need to say that she's controlling me. This is very off base. People who are in relationships, they communicate, they talk. This is just the reality of getting in a relationship and becoming more enmeshed. Like, it happens. You know, if we eventually have a kid together, like, it's very important that we're on the same page and that we communicate.
No, don't do it. Do not bring a child spawn from Anissa. Oh, you will be ruined, man. Don't. Oh my God, for the love of Christ, do not. I swear to God, the two most important decisions in your life is going to be marriage and having children. If you have a child, you are absolutely inherently rammed fucked for the rest of your life for 18 years if you have a child. Don't do it. That child will, do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not use your child. Do not post your child online. Do not post. Just don't. Just don't, for the love of Christ. I can already see the disaster that would happen from this. Anissa has a baby, and already she's like posting photos. Here's my new baby. Here's a photo of you being, you know, a first-time dad, being around children for fucking the first year or two. You're going to have black eyes from your lack of sleep. Let me tell you, as somebody who was a stepdad to 3 children for almost 5 years, you think the internet's bad? Wait till you have a child and you start posting them online, because Anissa is so chronically ill that she wouldn't probably be able to contain herself. Not just that, then you're going to deal with the false CPS stuff. You're going to have people involved in your life in a way that you've never had. You're going to have government agencies at your house every goddamn week because people hate her so much that they're going to start making false reports on you and her. I'm telling you, that will happen. It happened to me. It's happened to other people. Just please, for the love of God, get sterilized. Go get sterilized. Then she'll get a divorce because you can't have her children and take you for alimony and all that stuff because you're rich and she's not. Oh my Lord, just. All right, I gotta put my fears away. I'm getting carried away. If he wants to have a child and destroy his life even more, we have to let him run his course.
I know it might feel like you have some outsider insight, but it is just very wrong. I feel very free to
I don't
speak
like
my
this guy.
truth. Yeah, I agree, Bri.
Do you want to know why this shit makes me so mad? Because there was a point in time back in OnlyFans season 1 where I was like, dude, iDubbbz is the fucking man. Such a chill guy. So down to earth. Loved meeting him in real life. Loved playing games with him. This guy was the fucking man.
I think Tectone is remembering this in a kind of a weird way. It seems like he's very nostalgic and happy about it. He's being very over the top of how epic I was. But by this time, everyone had like decided that Anissa controls my life and that I'm a beta male soy cuck boy. So it actually is very funny that he's coming out now saying like, man, he was the man just 2 years ago. It's like, dude, the fucking cat was out of the bag 2 years ago. Also, it's weird because I didn't play games with him other than we were in the same guild. I don't know. I think he's just trying to add on to this narrative that the internet likes of, man, he used to be so awesome. He was so cool. And then he fucking got corrupted by that fucking bitch.
He was one of my favorite content creators of all time. And to see that this is what he became. I mean, this guy inspired me to do content. Like my breakdowns on people's entire character was inspired by iDubbbz. And it's so lame. Like to see what one woman's pussy and Hassan can do to a motherfucker is insane to me. And if he just would have remained true to himself, he wouldn't have ended up this husk of a man he is today, and probably would have way more viewers and wouldn't having to be making content that he hates for money. It's just
this is such fucking cope, man. Like hearing Tectone say it, it's just like it's reminding me how many times I've heard this fucking script. These people cannot fathom that the based epic N-word guy has changed his mind over time. It's got to be a woman's pussy or Hassan. I think if they accept that I came to that decision on my own,
So this is a tough one because we don't really know if you would have come to those decisions on your own had it not been for Anissa's influence. You cannot tell me that you have not been influenced in your way of thinking by your wife. And the reason we can say that is based upon your own statements, and just in reference of that, like, you stopped listening to Radiohead because of Zionistic tendencies, because Anissa brought it up to you that they're linked to Zionism, okay? This is what I'm talking about. That is one small example of many I could list. But I said in my video, like, I want you to make your own choices, and progress, and even, like, people growing and progressing. Man, I have content that I made back 14, 15 years ago. I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that I've grown, I've changed. That doesn't represent me, but I still have that stuff on my channel. I don't shame myself for it. I just say, wow, that was really cringe. I'm glad I'm not like that anymore, right? And I move on. There was even a point where I'm going to admit this, two relationships ago, where because I was so ingrained in the relationship, I allowed my views to change based upon my partner's perspective. And that was wrong for me to do, because I wasn't thinking for myself. And I just don't want you to experience that same thing, which has already it's been a clear indication that it has. And sure, do you make some decisions for yourself? It's completely speculative at this point, and we are just projecting. I'm not going to deny that. It does seem like you don't really make a lot of your decisions. But at the end of the day, we don't really know outside of the little snippets that we get. But I think you should just listen to your own music without somebody telling you not to.
They have to reckon with some demons of their own. Like, it's hard to accept the fact that I've taken this journey, and it's not one I regret. It's actually one that I've felt better after doing.
And Tectone is right. This guy is such a disappointment. Like, iDubbbz calling people incels when the first woman he met literally destroyed, like, took over his life and destroyed him, dude.
I don't know if this is your own theory or if it's just, like, implanted in your brain from all the other hate videos, but Anissa is not the first person or not the first woman I've met. I've met plenty of other women. She's certainly not the first woman I've dated, and certainly not the first woman I've had sex with. But I will admit that she is the first woman I married.
Oh, God. Ian, why? Why would you say this, man? I'm mind-boggled by this. Why? Why are you telling people? I know it may seem a shock, but I have been with other women, and no, man. Oh my God, you're gonna get made fun of this even more. Dude, look, I'm a nerd. I'm a huge nerd. Everybody knows that I'm a huge nerd. I get called a virgin all the time. Oh, Daniel, you're a 33-year-old virgin. I don't go around on the internet and tell people that I've been with other women, or how many people I've slept with, or people that I don't feel a need to do that, despite the fact that people still mock me all the time for my piercings and the way that I look and my tattoos and me being a gigantic nerd, right? People seem to think that because I'm a nerd, I therefore have, like, no social ability to get laid, and I don't know anything about relationships. And I accept when people say things like that, because I just dismiss it and laugh, because it's so far from the truth. But I don't feel a need to tell my audience, I've slept with this many women, or I've done this, or I've lost my virginity not once, but multiple times in different ways. Like, why? Why are you telling the internet this? Man, it reeks of something similar to when he said, I'm not a lol cow. That's something a lol cow would say. And if you have to go to the internet and say, I'm not a lol cow, I'm not a virgin, I've dated other women before, like, it's self-refuting. You're falling on yourself.
Also, there are a lot of grown men out there who were outraged to find out that I changed my last name from Washburn to Jama when I married Anissa.
Oh, it's
Who
pronounced
took
Jama.
his wife's last name, taking Anissa's last name, taking your wife's last.
Sorry.
Name.
He's taken her last name.
Honestly, I don't care about. I don't like societal expectations anyway. I don't care if somebody adopts somebody's last name. Doesn't bother me at all.
His last name? The last name, the story. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's so many. I forgot.
I think some of these people think I'm trying to push a woke agenda or some shit, but I don't give a fuck what anyone does with their own last names. This is what I chose to do because I like her last name better.
So when I was engaged, one of the things that I established with my then partner is we were actually going to combine my last name and her last name together, which I think is a really cool thing. I feel like it shares a level of like equality between two people where one person doesn't get their name replaced, because I want my name to continue when you know, in the future, if I have children, which I probably won't, but I just want to have my name continue on. And I don't feel good about taking somebody's last name away. And I think it would be cool to have both last names combined into one. I think that's a cool thing. And I realize that from a societal perspective, it's standard way of traditional. The woman has to have her last name taken by the man. I think that's dumb. I think it's just stupid. I'm very anti-societal expectations on like breaking the norm. I'm a bit of a relationship anarchist myself, so yeah. Bonus money.
When my rancid boxing coach and his wife decided to go on the H3 podcast as like this mutual exchange of talking shit about Anissa and I in exchange for $5,000, that was sort of under the premise that I owed them some sort of bonus money.
Yeah, I mean, like, we were also promised a bonus on CC1, and we never got it. But because Michael was so nice, he didn't want to, like, make Ian feel uncomfortable and ask Ian and Nisa about it.
And I was always under the assumption that there was no bonus, because even though he told me there was a bonus, he then disappeared for 6 months and I never saw him. So I was like, was there a bonus or was there not a bonus?
There was never a bonus. I never spoke to these losers about a bonus. I was paying these people an hourly rate to do the job that I asked for them to do, and they got paid. This fucking loser with the beard got paid $32,000 for training an influencer to box.
Damn.
And she got paid $9,000 to film some of it. They conveniently never talked to either one of us about it.
You confronted about that? You asked them, or you didn't want to
I just let it be.
Because I'm the same.
They conveniently don't have any text messages or emails or contracts that have anything to do with bonus money, because that conversation didn't happen. They're lying to Ethan and his crew, and they're lying to the audience.
How is it that we put on this great event? We raised $1.3 million for charity, and he promised us a bonus. And then right after the event, he just kind of pretend like he's too busy to check in with us.
Too busy to check in with you? I don't need to fucking check in with you. You're not my parents. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You weren't promised a bonus. I was doing my own shit. Why the fuck would I want to spend my time with you when I'm filming a show with Dax Flame? You guys are fucking losers.
You confronted about that? You asked them, or you didn't want to
I just let it be.
Because I'm the same.
If it was promised to you, if this imaginary bonus was promised to you, that should give you a lot of confidence to at least say, bonus? That's potentially a lot of money for you, you know? And
I actually agree with, I don't know if this is true or not, but I agree with this. Like, if I was owed a bonus, I wouldn't just let it be. Like, money is money and I would want to be paid. So I'm kind of deciding to like agree with Ian on this, that I don't think there was ever a bonus. And if there was, there would be clearly evidence of it, right? Like a text message or some sort of conversation or a contract or something. There'd be some proof of that bonus being included.
In this fictional scenario where you were promised a bonus, surely it makes sense to at least inquire if it was promised to you, right? Because I'd been consistently paying you day after day for all the work you were doing. So if I never missed a payment for you and your wife, and a bonus was promised at some point, then don't you think it would be pretty fucking obvious and apparent that you should text me, hey, what about that bonus? Of course,
okay, he said
but
what
there
I
was
just
no
said.
bonus, because you're fucking lying. Like, fuck these crooked people. They came on this podcast, they used this bonus thing as some sort of like weird exchange of like, yeah, we can't go on the podcast and just talk blatant shit about our clients. So what we're instead going to do is pretend like we were stiffed by our clients after they promised us a windfall of cash. There's so many other truthful things that they could have focused on the podcast that would have made me look like a bitch to a certain, sector of the internet. One of those things being me crying after a tough sparring session. Like, that's truthful.
Did you say he cried?
We
yeah.
had to have a meeting.
So after that, he was crying at the gym.
it's okay to cry, but it's not okay for him to cry. Now, to the crew of the H3 podcast, I have something
I just want to stop it right there. Okay, so the boxing people. So after this video was posted, he went on Twitch and he was live streaming. And oh boy, are you ready for this?
He messaged me about this child marriage thing, and this was after Creator Clash 2, and it was, very importantly, right after Michael Briggs requested that I be his guarantor on a loan to open like a boxing gym.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys know what that means. That basically means he's asking me to be responsible for like debt if he isn't able to like pay the loan. He said how embarrassing, humiliating it was that I was doing this like live stream to make up for the fact that we lost money on this event and money didn't go to charity. He was aware of what was happening. He knew that I lost my fucking match. You know, I hadn't been making videos or making any money, and that, you know, obviously I've been having a hard time online. I made my apology. Things were rough for me. But he comes in with his request of, hey, you mind being my guarantor on this loan?
Don't ever do it.
Meanwhile, he has no problem messaging me that. But I guess he couldn't message, hey, I could use that $5,000 bonus that you promised me. She, by the way, was very deliberate in saying that I promised her that. Like, that is, like, very specific language that she's using. That didn't happen. So I was extremely offended when he messaged me requesting that I be his guarantor on a loan. I did not have any, like, the idea...
That's fair.
Like,
that's fair. I wouldn't...
The idea of supporting him in that way was, like, not... Like, it was just offensive. It's like, oh, you literally aren't even acknowledging that I lost a tremendous amount of money on this event. Fuck you. I didn't say that, but I was short with him. I said, like, in no world would I ever be able to do that, because I wanted to express, like, very clear boundaries. And I did. And I don't know how long later it was. I wasn't done being angry about it for sure. But Kate did message me about, like, a child marriage bill thing. And I didn't pass it along to Anissa. I looked at it and I closed it. So was I being, like, you know, negligent to that relationship? Sure. But no, Anissa and I don't support child marriage or whatever fucking crazy story that they're spinning. I was just angry at them, and I was like, you know, fuck you guys. I'm not going to be boxing anytime soon. And
are you sure you don't support child marriage? Because I swear, because your wife is Muslim, and, like, if you know the origin point of Islam, he did have 12 underage brides, but I digress.
Yeah, I'm done with this shit. But at least for the child marriage thing, like, they didn't message Anissa about that shit. That was definitely a me thing. Me being, like, just kind of angry and uncaring about it.
Wow. So from what I hear, okay, I understand being offended by that, because I would be, if somebody, I had a couple months ago, somebody messaged me and they're like, hey, can you give me money for an Uber for this date? I'm trying to have in my Discord, mind you, this person who lives super close to me hit me up on Discord asking me for money and to pay for their Uber to have, like, a date thing. And I was offended. Like, how dare you ask me this? Like, you have a job and you're asking me to help, like, financially with a date. So, like, somebody coming to me and asking me to, like, can you sign up, be a guarantor? I would be offended by that too. However, in a situation where even I was offended by something like that, I would still have the decency to repost something that pertains to going against child marriage, because the woman who he's calling a loser and all this stuff, she was sex trafficked into a child marriage when she was 12. And legislation was going on to ban a state. I don't remember what state it was, but there's a couple states in America where, like, you can still get married underage. Your parents can literally offer you up in a religion and be like, hey, you know, our 13-year-old daughter's ready to breed. Super messed up shit. Still, there's still laws in certain states where this happens still in America. And to just simply post or retweet something that against that would potentially help more people see legislation against child marriage, all because you're offended. Wow. You know, I'm of the type... that is an interesting line to not cross. Imagine being so resentful and bitter, right, that you don't post something that benefits children, that benefits society, that benefits the people who have been affected by child marriage, all because you're offended that you were previously asked to help with a loan process. That is some really crazy out of touch of reality. And even if my arch nemesis on YouTube came to me and was like, hey, could you repost something that would support legislation on protecting children, that would never happen. But if he did, right? If he did do that, I would post it. I would retweet it because, I mean, that's an important thing. And I can put my differences aside with people that I don't like or people who do me wrong. I genuinely can do that. And in this particular case, I think it's really telling that your grudge and your anger and you're offended. So I'm going to just completely ignore this important thing because I'm offended. Really kind of shows the type of character that you are as a person. But what do I know, right? Anissa, here's the screenshot right here, okay? Was saying this about the coach, that guy you just saw on screen with the beard. Apparently he forced himself on her and made her so uncomfortable that she was sobbing hysterically and crying. He was inappropriate with her. Ian, iDubbbz, then responds by saying this.
Anissa, you can come here and explain it if you want, because I don't have a fucking recollection of it.
Defend myself.
Hold up. Right here. iDubbbz, can you explain why I was crying? I think it's very telling in this situation that we have Ian saying, I have no recollection of you having a mental breakdown or crying, sobbing when our boxing coach inappropriately touched you. I don't know if I was somebody's husband and or wife, and my partner came to me sobbing hysterically saying that I was just touched inappropriately by their coworker or coach or boss or whatever. I would remember that very, very specific. Does Anissa get on camera and talk about this situation? No, she just left it in the chat for people to speculate and now create a narrative that the coach is forced himself on her. But sad to say that this is not a behavior that I'm surprised by when it comes to Anissa. If you look at Anissa's old content, you can find that she's very, very anti-men. All men are bad, all men, at least older content. Now, people change, I get that. But this just goes along with the same sort of idealistic values where when they're losing the narrative shift plot and they want to deflect and derail a conversation, they bring up stuff like this. Do I believe the boxer was inappropriate with her? No, I don't. Could I be wrong? Sure. I don't think I am wrong, though, because I've seen this type of behavior exhibited by people before, men and women, where when they're losing the plot, when they're not getting the defense that they thought that they would get on the internet, they start just making up absolutely insane, asinine, false claims about somebody else. And the fact that your husband doesn't remember you having a mental breakdown and sobbing from being inappropriately touched by a person you're working with, well, that just goes to show that I don't believe it happened, and I stand by that. So that's where we are with the plot right now with iDubbbz and Anissa. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit long, but I prefer just pulling a video up live, making a pre-recorded video live. And yeah, this was my response to iDubbbz, to the haters, and all of my socials are linked down below. I'm going to be gaming this weekend, so if you want to play some video games with me, join my gaming Discord. If you don't play games, don't join. It's a video game Discord. Support the sponsor of the channel today. It helps me a lot. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later for another video whenever I have the time. Deuces.